confidence in Chicago this playoff season. Maybe it's because there's more in the air than Air Jordan. Bulls fans cheer names like Pippen, Grant, and King. And head coach Phil Jackson has combined youthful exuberance with crafty experience and has molded a team that is poised for a run at number one. The Milwaukee Bucks have reason to smile. They sport one of the most explosive backcourts in the game. And leading scorer Ricky Pierce, perhaps the best sixth man in basketball, comes off the bench with even more firepower. But the Bucks must climb off the deck after a Game 1 loss and look for some answers. Friday night was showtime in Chicago as the Bulls grabbed a one-game lead in this series. Milwaukee wants to avoid an encore today, but that's easier said than done. Welcome to one of the oldest and noisiest arenas in all of sports, Chicago Stadium on the west side of Chicago, the scene of Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Series between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Chicago Bulls. Thus far in the playoffs, home teams have had things all their own way. No different for the Bulls, who won Game 1 here on Friday night and are looking to make it 2 straight over Milwaukee here this afternoon. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Chicago Stadium and to NBA basketball here on CBS. I'm Greg Gumbel. 41 of the last 48 best-of-5 series, the team that won the first game advanced to the next round. One of those exceptions was the Milwaukee Bucks, who last season lost their series opener to the Atlanta Hawks and then came back to beat the Hawks. I'm joined this afternoon by Quinn Buckner. Quinn, the question is, can Milwaukee repeat it again this year?
Well, if they're going to repeat it, Greg, they've got to get some better play out from the interior players. The three guys only got 15 points in the last game, and I didn't think they did a very good job defensively against the Bulls. They've got to come up to speed this afternoon.
When you're talking about playing defense against the Bulls, you were talking first and foremost about Michael Jordan, who scored what we termed a quiet 38 in Game 1 Friday night.
You know, he really did. You didn't see anything spectacular, but at the end he had 38. But I think the Bulls have gotten to the point now you just don't depend on Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen has got a triple-double in the last game on Thursday, and I thought Horace Grant, after getting off his chest about his contract, feels better, and I thought he showed that by the way he played on Thursday.
Well, Michael Jordan and company aren't the only problems facing the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Let's bring in the third member of our team here at Chicago Stadium this afternoon, Andrea Joyce. Andrea?
Greg, as you know, the Bucks had all kinds of injury problems throughout the season, but they came into the playoffs reasonably healthy until Friday night. In that game, Jay Humphries slipped and fell and pulled his groin. Now, he did not practice with the team yesterday. I spoke to him about an hour ago. He says he's still plenty sore, but he is going to play. Now, as far as the floor is concerned, the building supervisor claims there was no condensation from the ice underneath the floor, from the hockey ice. He says they were slipping on their sweat. And at any rate, though, he has doubled the number of kids along the sidelines to make sure that they can wipe up that floor quickly. We will keep an eye on both situations for you. Greg?
All right, Andrea, no sweat. We will have reports from Andrea throughout the afternoon. We'll have starting lineups in the opening tap when we come back to Chicago in just a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1990 NBA playoffs is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. AC Delco, automotive parts that don't just fit, they match. And by Miller Lite's Tour de Light, the race to win America's favorite light beer.
Although we'll have to watch Humphrey's injury in the backcourt, the veteran Jack Sikma is in the middle. And the Bucks are coached by Del Harris in his third year as Milwaukee head coach. He has 7 head coaching years under his belt. For the Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant will start at the forward position. In the backcourt, Michael Jordan and John Paxson. And at center, Bill Cartwright in his 10th season out of the University of San Francisco. And the Bulls are coached by Phil Jackson in his first year as head coach of the Bulls after 2 years as an assistant here in Chicago. Officials for today's game: Mike Mathis, Bill Sarr, Dan Crawford. It is nice to be back in Chicago, Mr. Buckner.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be back here in Chicago. You know, Greg, and I'm glad to be back here. You see the Bulls. The thing that I think is important for everybody to understand today, if the Bulls are to be successful, the tip for them, if you will, is that they'll start getting balls and they'll flick them. They'll get their hands on them. Michael Jordan is very good at stealing the ball. He led the league. Scottie Pippen was right behind him. So they get their hands on the basketball. That's when the Bulls are at their best. For the Bucks, what they have to do is get it into a very slow-paced game, half-court game, and try to take advantage of some precision execution on the offensive end.
Bill Sarr will toss it at center between Cartwright and Sigma, and the tip comes to the sideline and saved by Pippen. Paxson for Pippen with Fred Roberts on it. Pick and roll doesn't work. Cartwright open for a short pop. Out of bounds. That belongs to Bulls. Milwaukee was able to stay close to Chicago on Friday night. It was a close game at halftime before the Bulls blew it open late.
And they blew it open because all of a sudden they get plays like that. If you play an athletic game where it's running and jumping, the Bulls will win. But when you talk about just passing and getting the ball in the right place at the right time, I think the Bucks have the advantage.
Fred Roberts. This is Alvin Robertson. Not his shot, but he hit it.
Alvin Robertson.
Yeah, and Alvin is a player that is a great defensive player, so you're right, that's not his shot. If he gets going offensively, that helps the team. But as I said earlier, it's got to be the inside play of the Bucks to make the difference.
Horace Grant outside. And now Paxson. Cartwright trying to move on Sigma on the turnaround, around and in.
That was a more determined Bill Cartwright than we saw on Thursday, because I thought Jack Sigma did a good job pushing Cartwright away from the basket. That time Cartwright got it in the basket.
4-2 Chicago, 10:40 to play, first quarter just underway here in Chicago Stadium. On the baseline, Robertson had it taken away, and Paxson stepped on the line. Here's Phil Jackson. And 8 seconds are on the shot clock. That's the discussion right now down low. Shot clock at 5. Sigma three-pointer. Around and out. Horace Grant with the rebound. On the feed to Pippen.
That's the play I'm talking about, Greg. That's an athletic play. You know, the Bulls get going down there. Scottie Pippen has got great ability, and Michael just made a very difficult pass look easy.
6-2 Chicago. On the floor, Humphrey saved it for Sigma. Three-pointer, Roberts. Loose ball foul, and that'll go against the Bucks' Brad Lohaus.
Milwaukee.
If you're a little bit surprised and maybe aghast, it's not unusual to see 7-footers hoisting up three-point attempts for the Milwaukee Bucks.
No, it's not unusual, but I don't know if I'm a purist, but my point of view, if a 7-footer is shooting a three-pointer, he's got very little chance to get the rebound if it doesn't go in, and he's not going to beat many guards getting back on the defensive end. I think that's a tough shot for any 7-footer to take, and I don't advise it.
Horace Grant. Alvin Robertson pulls it down. And this is Lohaus. Lohaus, a 7-footer with a good outside shot.
Great touch. That's been the talk all about Brad Lohaus. He can stick the jump shot. He's got to become more aggressive on the defensive end inside.
Grant, lane.
And that's a great example of it. Horace Grant made a good play, but if Brad Lohaus pushes Horace away from the basket, then that's not as easy a shot.
Back outside, Humphreys to Lohaus, and then across court to Sigma. Down low, Roberts. Good look inside by Sigma.
Good job holding position there by Roberts as well.
2-point Chicago lead. And Jordan has not yet attempted a shot. Pass down low, out of bounds to Chicago.
You know, I talked to you, remember we were sitting around talking about that. I said Michael is interesting. He's a little bit like a father figure. Early in the game, he'll try to pass the ball, get Grant and Pippen and everybody else into the flow. And as long as that happens, then he doesn't have to force the offense. As soon as it stops, he becomes the offense.
Pippen, baseline. Scottie Pippen recording a triple-double and had a career-high 13 assists in the victory Friday night. 10 6, Chicago. 8.5 to play first quarter. Humphries. That one off the mark. And going up high for it is Jordan. Down the lane. Look at the look at Horace Grant.
It was a pass by Michael, which looked a lot easier than it was, but when you got people like Horace Grant that run, you got big targets, and Michael found him right threading the needle there.
Quinn, part of the problem for the defense is you get kind of lulled watching Michael handle the ball, and you're not watching everyone else the way he is.
Yeah, you're like everybody else in the stands watching Michael.
Robertson inside, dishes back out for Roberts. Del Harris said that it is unlikely that Fred Roberts, Brad Lohaus, and Jack Sikma will have as bad a night collectively as they did Friday night. Jordan.
He shot it was turning around, coming back before it went in the basket.
14-8. Bulls lead, 7:35 to play first quarter. Roberts had to change his shot. Sikma fakes it and is fouled by Cartwright. Talked about Michael Jordan and his ability to see the court. Watch this one.
Well, the interest is clearly what's Michael going to do with the ball, but you see right there, the defense doesn't get back. Jack tries to help out, but Horace Grant showing he can get from one end to the other very quickly. But Michael, again, he's feeding Horace. Now, Horace will rebound better when he's fed the ball like Michael just did, so it'll be interesting to watch to see what his rebounding ends up like.
Humphries back outside. Alvin Robertson. A little long over the backcourt, out of bounds, Chicago. Alvin Robertson scored 22 points here on Friday night, but many of them were on the break or down low. He doesn't hit many from the perimeter.
Well, Dell likes Alvin Robertson because he's a great defensive player. His offense is a plus, but if he can get his offense off his defense, that's where Alvin is at his best.
Grant. 6 points for Horace Grant. He had 19 points and 9 rebounds in game 1.
And of those 9, he had 4 offensive rebounds and was really active. And that's one of the things I thought hurt the Bucks as much as anything was Horace on the offensive glass.
Jordan with the tip away and gets it back from Pippen. There's another steal credited to Jordan. Here comes Pippen. And that'll be an offensive foul. That will not count.
It looked good, though. I'll tell you that.
We'll take a timeout here and bring people down to earth. The Bulls lead it 18-8. Welcome back to Chicago Stadium, everyone. Connie Chung with what sounds like good news, and we certainly hope it comes to fruition. And of course, CBS News will keep you updated throughout the afternoon. Meanwhile, we approach 6 minutes to play here in the first quarter, and the Bulls in charge by a score of 18-8. And Ricky Pierce has come into the ball game for the Milwaukee Bucks, and when he's not in there to pass the ball.
No, Ricky's going to get it up. You can count on that.
At the buzzer, Sikma's shot off the mark, and here comes Paxson for Jordan, who is 1-on-3 and puts it up.
I think he's a little warm, Greg. He's right here, and we had the angle right behind him. And Michael's shooting the ball and starting back down court before it even gets to the basket, so he must feel pretty good about the shot.
Jordan has 6. The Bulls have a 12-point lead.
Well, the Bucks have also brought in the best inside player that played in the game on Friday, and that's Cadillac Anderson.
Sikma indecisive on the drive and travel.
Well, he was looking for Cadillac Anderson, and I saw him apologize, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Del Harris has to tell Jack, if you get there at the free throw line, you can shoot the ball, because I think he's got a better chance to make the shot and or get the rebound if he misses it.
Jordan puts it up. Front rim, no. Out of bounds. That'll belong to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee ball.
Humphries bringing the ball up, and so far doesn't show any of the effects of the pulled groin muscle that he suffered here on Friday night.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with you, Greg. I haven't seen Jay Humphries try to beat John Paxson, and I thought that was a mismatch in the favor of Humphries, and I believe that groin hurt.
Ricky Pierce gets his first bucket.
I think what Jay Humphries is trying to do is preserve himself, because because, you know, it's a long game, so he doesn't want to take a chance with it.
Fine, Quinn, be that way.
Thank you very much.
Shot clock down to 10. Alvin Robertson on Jordan. Nice pass for Pippen.
Oh, the shot was great, but you're right. Cadillac gets called for the foul, but Michael made a great look. Right here, Michael, he's got Alvin Robertson, and right away he sees that Jay Humphries came to help out. Humphries was guarding Pippen, and that's what allowed Pippen to get free, but the pass is what makes it work.
Three-point play for Pippen. He has 7.
And this is one of the things the Bulls will do. After a made free throw, they'll come out in their full-court press.
And Alvin Robertson having a tough time in the backcourt. Jordan picks it off. And a steal to go with his 4 assists now. 4th Milwaukee turnover. Pippen open.
Goes without saying, Greg, they're hitting on all cylinders. I mean, Michael is playing under such control here. I mean, it's interesting watching him. I think that he feels he can do anything he wants to do on the court now.
Del Harris says it's time to take a look at things in the long view. 25-10 Bulls, 4:04 to play, first quarter. Season has had its high points, not the least of which was the Boston Celtics just going bananas yesterday afternoon against the New York Knicks, breaking the old record held by these Milwaukee Bucks, who had 156 points.
Well, I think as impressive as anything as that is, of those 157 points, they had 46 assists. Now that's when you tell that it's a great passing team, very unselfish, and as long as you play that way, you've got a shot to win games.
Meanwhile, the Bulls have gone on a tear over the last 3 minutes and 44 seconds, outscoring the Bucks 13-2, and have pulled out to a 15-point lead with 4:04 to play here in the first quarter. Michael Jordan, 6 points, 5 assists, 3 steals.
Well, you see the telltale factor again, the inside scoring in Milwaukee just hadn't showed up.
Sigma couldn't get that step back away. Now he does. Over Cartwright, Jordan with the rebound. Looking for an opening, dishes for Pippen.
Michael is just driving, getting everybody else in the game, staying in the flow. But he's got Ricky Pierce guarding him, and Ricky Pierce is a great offensive player, but because he concentrates on offense, defense is going to be tough for him to stay up with. And Michael is tough for anybody to play against.
Scottie Pippen has 11. Pierce. Oh, no. Rebound, Cadillac Anderson.
Yeah, that's what I said. Cadillac is the guy that played big for the Bucks on Friday. He had 10 points when he came in. He didn't play long, but he's about as close to a banger as they have on the team with the absence of Larry Kristoviak.
With about 3:15 left, Milwaukee comes up with its first offensive rebound. They only had 1 in the first half in game 1. Cartwright, turnaround. Anderson with the rebound. This is Pierce, and now Pippen is on Sigma. He should get that shot away, and he drew the foul.
Chicago personal
That was a mismatch with Scottie Pippen on him. And the thing that's starting to happen is that Jack is starting to open up Sigma. When you're watching now, when he gets on the block, he will more than likely open up out away from the basket. And what that does for him, obviously, is gives him his shot, his step-back shot, which he's been known for. But what it takes him away from it is getting a rebound. And I'm not sure that Jack can beat people when all of a sudden they cloud him on that step-back jump shot. And I think that's been part of the problem the Bucks have had, that Jack is not able to beat people like he used to.
Number 34, Stacey King, in replacing Scottie Pippen. And Pippen leaves the game with 11 points. Sigma hits them both, and it's now a 27-14 Chicago lead with 2:40 to play right now. Jordan to the baseline. looks like it's Lohaus.
Well, Michael, right here, he tried to force the mismatch, and then once he got Presti behind him, he tries to go to the basket, and Jack comes over and does the thing that you need to do, is just don't let him make the dunk, because the fans get involved if he makes the dunk.
Sickman did commit the foul, and Jordan to the line. Michael Jordan shot 699 free throws during the regular season and hit 85% of them.
Yeah, but he struggled a little bit of late break. I wish I had a struggle like that. It was around 85%.
What did you shoot from the line?
No, there's no way you're going to get me to say that.
Paul Presti into the game, open, misses his first shot, and Craig Hodges saves the inbound pass. Into the lane for Grant.
I'll tell you what, and what's starting to be interesting, these guys have played together a couple years. Now, Grant knew where to cut, and Michael knew exactly where to find him through the middle of the paint.
8 points for Grant. Pierce with Jordan on him. The offensive foul goes against the Bucks.
Correction. Greg Anderson is second.
34 Cadillac Anderson commits his second foul. 1:45 to play, first quarter. Cartwright had the good move, didn't get it to roll. Cartwright again.
That's his shot. He can shoot that one pretty well. Cartwright has been able to get to the basket. He's been a little frustrated offensively, and the Bucks have done a good job keeping Sickman off.
Presti inside, Grant with the block. Here comes Hodges. And the foul outside before the Bucks recover the ball.
Milwaukee personal foul. 22 Ricky Pierce.
Ricky Pierce commits the foul. Here's the play at the other end.
Well, you just see Horace Grant just does a good job. Craig Hodges did the smart thing to do. There's a height advantage that accrues to the Bucks with Presti and Hodges, and what Grant did wisely was come over and help out on the defensive end, but Hodges forced him inside so he could get that help.
Charles Davis, number 22, into the game for Chicago.
Charles brings a little more offense in. The Bulls are not exactly searching for that.
Jordan works for a shot. And Lohaus with the rebound. Presti looking down low. Anderson breaks free. Grant misses.
Well, you see that the Bucks are getting some inside play. That's the person that I said gave it to him on Friday. He's got to have more from him, but he's got to get some contribution from Lohaus and Jack Sickman, somebody else to take the inside pressure off.
Under a minute to play now, 45 seconds to be exact, as Jordan works his way towards the baseline. Jordan has 10. The long pass down for Ricky Pierce. And Sigma open for the pop. Jordan saves. And what a pass to Davis. 3-on-2. Davis blocked by Lohaus. That's a good block by Brad Lohaus. Sigma on the baseline. Reverse. Good.
It was a great effort by Lohaus to get back defensively. Michael made an outstanding play. Not only did he save it from out of bounds and got it to Davis, but then Lohaus did a good job on the defensive end.
Down to the last 10 seconds of the first quarter. And Presti has Jordan. Hodges gets it off. Back rim, no. Loose ball. And that'll do it.
At the end of the first quarter.
The fans are happy. It has been all Bulls in the first quarter here. 33-18 Chicago. We'll be back.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1990 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars. The Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA.
On the shores of Lake Michigan, Chicago Bulls leading Milwaukee 33-18 as we begin the second period. And the NBA playoffs for 1990 continue here on CBS right now. Let's take you over to Andrea Joyce. Andrea.
Greg, the Bucks are concerned about letting this game get too out of hand early on. During the last few minutes of the first quarter, they told the players, they stressed to them that they've got to keep their poise offensively. And in terms of defense, they said they've got to put more bodies on people and get more physical. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Andrea. You know, Del Harris and company stuck to their game plan, and for the first half and maybe the first part of the third quarter on Friday night, it worked, and every time the Bulls opened up a large lead, the Bucks crept back in.
Yeah, well, one of the things that happens, I think, and Del Harris has told his club to keep his poise for that very reason, because there's a chance that they can get back into the game. But I thought the Bulls showed some great composure themselves. They were 63%, 15 for 24 from the line, from the field, so they've taken the kind of shots they wanted to get as well.
In the great tradition of NBA bangers down low, number 45, Ed Neely, has come into the lineup for the Chicago Bulls.
And I think that's a significant point, because Neely was in the game when the Bulls took their lead before. He's just a very aggressive player, the only banger that's really on the team.
Cressy working hard on the baseline, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. There is Ed Neely in his sixth season out of Kansas State. He fills that enforcer role quite well.
Let's put it this way. One of Ed Neely's chores, I'm sure, is they tell him, don't take any fouls home with you. Ed would get more than his share of fouls, but he gives a physical presence that the Bulls are going to need. Now, they needed it in the game on Friday. They're going to seriously need, assuming that the Bulls go to the next series, they've got to have it there, too, because it becomes more physical the closer you get to the championship.
Neely goes 6'7", 240. Del Harris says of the 5 games played between these two teams this year, Ed Neely was a significant factor in at least 3 of them.
And again, it's just the physical presence that the Bulls have and the Bucks don't seem to get, because they've lost Larry Kostoviak due to injury.
Hodges three-pointer. Craig Hodges, specialist from three-point land. Lohaus on the give and go with Pierce, and Pierce will go to the line.
And who fouled him? Mr. Neely. Mr. Neely got over and protect the basket, and that's what Ed Neely is there for. See, the Bulls don't really have a shot blocker per se, and you know, Stacey King has come along in time, but Ed Neely gets in and he controls the paint area by just being aggressive, and you've got to control the paint on the offensive end by getting easy hoop. On the defensive ends, you don't let anybody go to that basket without letting them know if you come in the middle, you're going to get tapped, and you will remember that.
Quinn, you and I watched Ed Neely working out yesterday afternoon with the weights. His little regimen is something to behold.
I mean, he spent, you know, just before practice, he was there a solid 40, 45 minutes bulking up that body like it needs some help.
Ricky Pierce hits them both. The Bulls lead is 36-22. Robertson now with Pippen going down low. And that's who they find on the far side. King into the lane. Around and out of bounds, belongs to Milwaukee.
Stacey King played big in the game on Friday. He's nice inside, comes to his left quite a bit, so I think that's something that the Bucks will have to work on. Just force him to his right. But he played a good game, I thought, inside for the Bucks.
9 points, 9 boards on Friday night. The rookie out of Oklahoma.
Coming up. Keep coming.
Pierce trying to fight his way through it. Doesn't work. And on the baseline now, Lohaus with a drive. And you won't see Lohaus do that much. He usually prefers to take the shot from long range. Under 10 and a half to play now. Second quarter. Hodges. 2-pointer doesn't go. Loose ball. Here comes Robertson. And the Bucks running for about the first time today.
But Robertson and Humphrey can run. I mean, they're good athletes. They'll get out and do it. But they got to be careful, because you get in the running game, and that's what the Bulls want to do.
Charles Davis now as King posts up and tries to move across the lane. Rejected by Lohaus, and here come the Bucks again. Robertson ahead of the pack.
Well, somewhere here, Phil has got to figure out how do I get more offense on the basketball court, because right now with Michael Jordan out of the game, the Bulls are struggling, and Phil needs to tell them, let's think about this thing, guys. Regroup, take your time.
9:44 to play, second quarter, and the Bucks have moved to within 10. It's 36-26, Chicago. Another doubleheader day of CBS basketball. Coming up next, when we're finished here in Chicago, we'll take you out to the Forum in Los Angeles, where the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers will play Game 2 of their first-round series. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown will be on hand in Game 1. The Lakers found themselves trailing by 7 at halftime, but James Worthy keyed the comeback in the second half, and the Lakers won it. They are now looking to go 2 games up this afternoon. That follows our game later today here on CBS.
You know, having been in California, I watched the Lakers a lot this year, and Magic has done a great job stepping his game up, and what he's starting to do is get other people to step up, one of them being James Worthy, but they got Vlade Divac, and I think that's been a big difference for them this year.
Here we have 9:44 to play, second quarter, and you saw the headway the Bucks have made in the last few minutes. Scottie Pippen. There's the whistle, and the foul is on. Loose ball foul against Milwaukee.
The team first.
Well, Phil has done a good job. He had to get Scottie Pippen or Michael back in the game, and he got Pippen in the game. But you need somebody that can create some opportunities for other people, and Scottie's one of the people that can do that.
Rodgers inside, that will not count. Be an offensive foul on the Bulls. And that is against Stacey King. That's number 2 on King.
I like a kid that at least admits he was nervous. Stacey had 3 opportunities, easy ones early in the game on Friday. He messed them up totally, and he finally said in the newspaper, he said, I tried to play cool in the warm-up. Come game time, I was nervous.
Short jump hook by Pressey is good.
See, Greg, that's another thing I didn't think Milwaukee did a good job of, taking advantage of having Paul Pressey at 6'5", playing against either Paxson or Hodges, and that's what the Bucks have decided to do this afternoon.
Charles Davis kicks it back out, and now down low, and out of bounds to Scottie Pippen. Bulls with their 3rd turnover of the day, and the Bucks now with a chance to cut it to 6.
You remember we talked about the Bulls will go up 10, and then all of a sudden the Bucks find themselves getting back in the game, being poised, doing what they do best.
And Ricky Pierce doing what he does best. He has 6 points now, and there's the steal by Pressey. Pressey on the drive, and he's got it. 36-32, and Phil Jackson says we better call timeout right about now. The Milwaukee Bucks have come out in the second quarter and gone on a tear. 36-32 Bulls. We'll be back to Chicago Stadium in a moment.
After 10 months of rehab, he came back toward the end of the season only to re-injure that knee in the last game of the regular season against the Nets. And Larry is here right now. Larry, I have to ask you, in a series like this, as you're watching, how much of a difference do you think you could be making out there?
Well, I think one thing that our team needs is somebody that's going to put his body on somebody consistently. And I knew coming into this series in the playoffs that I would be able to do that, and knew that I had 6 fouls to give. And I think against Chicago, we need somebody in there that's willing to take some hard fouls, as Ed Neely does for the Bulls.
So I guess for you, it's good luck for next year then.
Yeah, I'm anxious for next year to start already, and the rehab this summer won't be anything like last summer.
Okay, thanks, Larry. Let's go back to Greg and Quinn.
All right, Andrea, yes, in discussions with Del Harris yesterday, we asked him, do you have anybody who can put a body on the Bulls down low and make a difference? And he said, yeah, Larry Krystkowiak. What a shot by Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, you're right. They really miss Krystkowiak, because shots like that you won't get many of, because he'll come over, and because Scottie Pippen was going down, he's just make sure he doesn't get the shot off. 13
points for Scottie Pippen. 38-32 as we approach 8 minutes to play for the half. Shot clock down to 6, and it's out of bounds off of the Bulls.
Well, Michael played some good defense there, but one of the things that's really happened positively for the Bucks is with Paul Pressey back in the game. Paul came in and he had 6 points and 4 assists, and they missed the fact that Paul hadn't played. He's 6'5". They need somebody willing to play good defense and take some fouls.
Nice drive by Pressey into the lane, and he puts another one home. It's 38-34. Pressey has 8.
Pressure tough. I mean, they call a foul on Alvin Robertson right here. But Paul Pressure is guarding Horace Grant, and Horace Grant had nowhere to go with the ball. And in another 2 seconds, he probably would have lost it because Paul has got long arms, been known for his great defense.
The long arms of the law, indeed.
Jordan gets his own rebound, baseline, and will go to the line.
Milwaukee, personal foul, 44, Brent Lohaus is second.
Lohaus commits his second,
Michael Jordan to the line.
and Jordan to the line.
He said, how's that golf swing? Not good enough, Michael. Not good enough to take you on.
He came to you because you still owe him from the last time you played with him.
No, see, that he always says I owe.
Because you always owe him.
See, Michael doesn't know you like I do. I know you'd rather owe him than pay him.
That's right. He'll never go broke that way.
Jordan has 12, and the Bulls' lead is 6.
For Pippen, doesn't find him yet. Inside, Lohaus broke that one up and took the hit, but the Bucks have the ball. Here comes Pierce. Sutter steps around Cartwright. Cartwright blocked it and saved it and stepped on the line, and it's out of bounds to Milwaukee. Bill Cartwright doesn't get many plaudits for his defense, but he made a fine play down court that time.
Well, considering that was on Ricky Pierce, is an excellent play because Ricky, the one thing that doesn't happen to him very often, he doesn't get many shots blocked because he gets it off real quick.
24-second clock to 16.
You know, one of the things that, and again, to the Bucks' credit, their bench has really come off to play well. They scored 18 points, and at this point, the Bulls' bench has only scored 3.
Pierce got it.
Ricky Pierce.
Ricky Pierce scored 23 points a game during the regular season. And many feel the best sixth man in basketball this season. He's already won that award once, and his odds-on favorites to win it again.
Well, he comes off the bench, and he leads his team in scoring.
Cartwright's hook doesn't go. Anderson battles for the ball and picks it off.
And those are the kind of things. The loose balls are usually a good indication of who will come out favored in the game because it shows that extra effort.
Lob down low, too far, missed Anderson, and Jordan has it. For Pippen. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Milwaukee.
Loose ball foul, Milwaukee. 25, Paul Pressey is second. The team score.
Ricky Pierce helps that, but I think the Milwaukee bench overall has played much better in this game, and the Milwaukee coaching staff thought that the Bucks would come out stronger in this game than they did in game 1.
Well, Del Harris said his club rarely plays 2 bad games in a row. He felt they were stronger that way.
Horace Grant breaking free on the baseline, and it's 42-36 Chicago with 5:50 to play. 10 for Grant. And timeout for the Milwaukee Bucks. With 5 minutes, 46 seconds to play, the Bucks are within 6 of the Chicago Bulls. We'll be back to the stadium in a moment.
We'll get you back to Chicago Stadium in a moment. I'm Pat O'Brien in New York City. Coming up on the Prudential at the half, Bill Raftery and I will look ahead to the Lakers-Rockets showdown later on, and we'll pay tribute to one of the NBA's most valuable performers, a man who's far from shy, but soon will be retiring, referee Earl Strom. All that and much, much more at a familiar place, the Prudential at the half. And now let's send you back out to Greg and Quinn. Fellas, you're on.
All right, thank you, Pat. Welcome back to the stadium, everyone. The Bucks trailing Chicago by 6 points. And the Milwaukee Bucks have kicked it into gear here in the second quarter. They're shooting a hot 7 for 10 from the floor so far. And Ricky Pierce has come off the bench to do what he does best. Scottie Pippen would be the man.
No, he clearly would be the man. He's got great skills, and what he's got is some real help in the way that he's starting to develop, because I think Phil Jackson lets him play and make mistakes. And Scottie's got to be allowed to do that.
Outside, Pressey. That was partially blocked by Pippen.
enough to know that you've got to pay attention to the clock. It was blocked, and they come back up with the ball. Dale Harris teams comes up with the ball. You've got to keep your mind on the 24-second clock. I think what he was trying to say is he felt that there was a possession by the Bulls, but clearly that wasn't the case. Or it was a 24-second violation.
Cartwright inside on Lowhouse, draws the foul, and will go to the line. Well, Lowhouse is playing more of an inside game today than he did in game one.
But he really is, and you read me well, because I was going to say they need somebody to be willing to take those kind of fouls, and Brad just put his body on Cartwright to make sure he didn't make the shot.
Lowhouse gets his third, and that's going to send him to the bench as Jack Sikma prepares to come into the ballgame.
You know, one of the reasons the Bucks got their run was all of a sudden they started to become very aggressive defensively. Paul Pressey has got those long arms, and he makes it difficult for you to get around. So he started calling games some transition baskets, which is one of the things you've got to do if you don't have good interior players, and that's why the Bucks got back into the game.
Well, Jay Humphries in to replace Paul Pressey, and Pressey goes out having done an extraordinary job for the Milwaukee Bucks during his short tour of duty in there.
Yeah, he did. He's been hurt, just came back on Friday. Got kicked in the calf and has been out for a very long time, but I'm sure the Bucks are glad to see him playing better now.
Humphries rescues that ball, and back come the Bucks. 43-36 as we approach 5 minutes to play for the half. Robertson puts it up and hits it. Alvin Robertson, 6 points. And it's a 5-point Chicago lead. Pippen, Paxson, Jordan, Cartwright, and Horace Grant in the lineup. And there's the steal by Robertson. He has Jordan to beat. And he did it.
They're ex-teammates, ex-Olympic teammates, so they know each other pretty well. And Alvin knew that Michael was going to come and sneak with a block.
43-40. The Bulls lead cut to 3. It was 15 at one point in the first quarter. Near steal, tipped out of bounds. Foul is called against Milwaukee. Personal foul is on Jay Humphries. Take a look at the other play down court.
Well, that's defensive pressure, but you're looking at the steals leader for the Milwaukee Bucks and Alvin Robertson, and he knew Michael was going to come and try to block it, so he just protected it a little bit and got it down.
Alvin Robertson with those steals, 207 of them. Now don't laugh. He broke your record. I mean, look at the Milwaukee Bucks leaders over the years in steals.
Well,
I'm proud of you, partner.
Some old joker was just trying to stay in the league.
Does it help that you were out there dressed as an official?
Yeah, I got the benefit of the doubt on some calls.
The thief himself. Cartwright missed his first. And has now hit 2 of the 4 in his last 2 trips to the line, and it's a 4-point Chicago lead. 4 points for Cartwright, and 4:10 to play in the half. Sikma, baseline, looks down low, gets it right back. Broken up. Here comes Jordan. Down the lane, kicks it back out for Paxson.
Good call. The official made this call. Mike Mathis has got Ricky Pierce, and he just pushed Horace Grant out. Oh, they called on Alvin, but Ricky was there. Now you'll see the pass come out here. Michael is trying to take it to the basket. Too much help coming. So it was pretty evident right after that. I mean, I looked at Horace Grant. He came flying out of the paint.
And Horace goes 6'10", 220. It's not easy to get him airborne. 11 for Horace Grant.
You see, he's only got 1 rebound, but he'll play better because he's had his chance to touch the ball. He knows that he can get some things done.
That'll be a loose ball foul against Bill Cartwright of the Bulls. That's number 2 on Cartwright.
The wily veteran found a way to hold Jack Sikma down with one arm and reach for the ball with the other.
Cartwright's 10th season, his 2nd here in Chicago after 8 years as a member of the Knicks. We approach 3:40 for the half. 5-point Chicago lead. Pierce, top of the key. Now to the far side, puts up a force. This is Pippen. Looks and finds Paxson on the drive, rejected. And Pippen will slow it down and kick it back out front to Jordan.
They give it back to the venerable father figure, if you will, to try to get the tempo.
Trying to get his way inside, spins it off the glass, doesn't go. Cartwright.
If you're wondering why people stop, when Michael went through the paint, it looked as though he might have traveled, and all the Bucks were expecting to hear a whistle. So that says one thing, players. Play until you hear the whistle.
Bill Cartwright has 3 rebounds now. That's 3 more than he had in the first game. 7-point Chicago lead, 2:40 to play. Roberts. No. Pierce. Blocked by Jordan. And that is a foul on Scottie Pippen.
They laugh because Michael's safe.
I want to remind you, at the conclusion of our game today, Quinn and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game. In conjunction with that award, Light Beer presents a check in the amount of $1,000 in that player's name to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Scottie Pippen leads the game with his 3rd personal foul, 13 points, and 6 of 8 from the floor. Stacey King.
Well, with Scottie out now, there's going to be a little more rebounding with Stacey King, and he's starting to feel more comfortable in the offense, so he'll have his challenge with Cadillac Anderson on him.
Pressey back into the game, too, and goes right down the lane. Paul Pressey has been outstanding so far this afternoon. He has 10, and again, it's a 5-point Chicago lead.
And you hit it on the head. Paul has been the major difference for the Bucks. He's taking the ball to the basket, so they get some inside points, as well as you see what he can do defensively.
He gets the steal, and Grant is forced to foul it. You know, Paul Pressey is an interesting story. This is a guy, Quinn, at one point in the season wanted out of Milwaukee.
Well, yeah, he did. He didn't think he was getting the kind of playing time that he felt he should get. So he asked the club to think about, or at least explore the opportunity to let him go. But obviously, Dell felt that he is of some value to the team, and he's proven that this afternoon.
10 points, 4 assists for Pressey. Pressey missed the playoffs last season, out of action with a dislocated right shoulder. Cartwright and Sigma banging away at each other down low. 47-44 Chicago. Interesting that the Bucks have both Humphries and Pressey in the lineup, along with Alvin Robertson. 2 minutes to play. Jordan baseline shot off the mark. Stacey King got a hand on it, couldn't hold on. Here comes Robertson with Jordan on his tail. Humphries drives back to Robertson, who missed the layup but gets the follow. No! Tapped in by Anderson.
You're seeing more effort on the part of the Bucks this game. I didn't think they played that hard. Well, they played hard. They just didn't get it done, I thought, against the Bulls on Friday. This time they're playing hard, Greg.
20-second timeout is called by Phil Jackson. And right now, let's head over to Andrea Joyce. Andrea.
Greg, you just mentioned Paul Pressey, and as far as the Bucks are concerned, as long as he is playing well, they're going to try to give Jay Humphries as much rest as they can. There are heat packs out here for Humphries, but so far he hasn't asked for them and hasn't needed them. Back to you guys.
All right, Andrea, thank you. It's a 1-point lead now, and as we mentioned earlier, Quinn, it was 25-10, a 15-point Chicago lead. What's been different?
Well, Paul Pressey has been the major difference, the guy there in the middle of the screen. And what I've talked about it. He's come out, he's played defense. Now you get some transition baskets. He's taking the ball to the basket, so you get some easy hoops. And I think that also we stated, the Bulls are known to do this. And I talked to Phil Jackson about it. They will get a 10-point lead, and they don't have the
fouled by Sigma. That's number 2 on Jackson.
And I expect now, the Bulls have suffered enough offensively. This is when the offense really starts turning, and it becomes Michael's offense. He lets everybody else play as long as the offense is moving smoothly. But as soon as it staggers, he'll take it over.
at halftime. Pat O'Brien, Bill Raftery, back in our studios in New York with the Prudential at the half. Jordan now with 14 and 7 assists and 5 rebounds and 4 steals, and it's a 3-point Bulls lead.
And it's only halftime.
Robertson on the move, tries to kick it outside, but he is fouled. And that'll send Robertson to the line. Both teams in a penalty situation.
34, Stacey King, his third.
Stacey King commits his third. There's Del Harris, who back in 1981 took the Houston Rockets to the NBA Finals, where they lost to the Celtics in 6.
Well, you know, when you spoke to Dale, the one thing that is similar to the team in 81 is he had an injury-prone team. They had a lot of injuries that year. And this year, with 235 man games missed, if you will, Dale's team leads the league with that number. So he says there are some similarities. One they don't have, though, they had Moses Malone there. That makes a big difference.
49-47, Bulls with the ball, lead by 2. And 70 seconds to play in the half. Shot clock is at 10. Pressey on Jordan. And inside for King. Good defensive play by Cadillac Anderson, out of bounds to Milwaukee. Jordan got the pass inside to King, and Anderson was there for the block.
Yeah, and the fans are booing, but everybody's got to realize, and I think the Bulls have forgotten, this is a playoff game, so some of the things that might be called regular season won't be called here, so you've got to continue to play till you hear the whistle.
Pressey to the baseline. Oh, what a move by Paul Pressey.
Boy, he had long arms and just snuck in there with a nice look.
And this game is tied at 49. The lead for Robertson, and a good speed for Anderson.
But the pass that really keyed it was up Paul Pressey, because he looked up and Michael had an angle on Robertson, and Paul threw it away from Michael, and then Robertson had the presence of mind to tap it to Anderson.
20 seconds to play, 2-point Milwaukee lead. Their first lead of the day, and Jordan with the miss, Anderson with the rebound. Here comes Alvin Robertson. Down the lane, and foul. Bill Jackson a bit more subdued about it than Michael Jordan was.
Alvin Robertson shoots 2.
That's number 1 on Jordan, and Alvin Robertson will shoot 2. Into the game is rookie B.J. Armstrong for Bill Cartwright. Craig Hodges also comes in as Phil Jackson shuttles his long-range bombers in for the last 7.6 seconds.
But not only long range, this is a better ball handling team, because the Bucks pressed the last time that they had a free throw, and I'm sure one of the things that Phil wants to do is preserve his club in terms of ball handling skills, so that's why he made that change.
Del Harris counters with Fred Roberts into the game, and also Tony Brown.
And his is just the opposite. He takes Jack Sikma out of the game. You just get a little more active body, so all of a sudden the Bulls don't come back, get a basket, and then get the fans in the game before you go out at the half.
Robertson hits 1 of 2, 3-point Milwaukee lead. Armstrong tapped out of bounds by Roberts with 5 seconds to play. What a turnaround the Milwaukee Bucks have engineered here in the first half.
Well, this is true to Dale's statement. He said his club plays well if they play badly on the first time.
Let's see if Jordan gets this right back. He doesn't. Hodges spins, puts it up, and hits.
That was a mismatch. He had Fred Roberts on him, and Fred just never recovered in time.
1.4. Jordan taps it away, and that'll do it for the half. We can't argue with what's happened here. It's the end of the first half. 52-51 Milwaukee. The Prudential at the half coming up after this.
CBS Sports presents The Prudential at the half. Sponsored by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
And our score at the half, the Bucks lead 52-51 over the Chicago Bulls. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien along with Bill Raftery, and welcome to the Prudential at the half. And Bill, a 34-18 run by the Bucks. A lot of poise they showed us there in the second period.
First quarter, they really struggled. They weren't into the game. And interestingly enough, the physical play didn't exist in the first quarter. Second, they got after it a little bit. Execution, and with that loud building, you've got to have poise.
And to key in on the versatility of Michael Jordan, right?
Well, this little replay that we're running shows Jordan's ability to get into the middle. Del Harris did not want this penetration. This was early in the first quarter. Of course, nice give-off showing his ability to find another player. But more importantly, the Bucks tightened up, did not permit that type of activity, and that's how they got back in this game.
And they're up by 1. Billy, we have another NBA playoff game on tap today. The Lakers and the Rockets in Game 2 of their Western Conference opening round. Let's go to the Forum and hear from Dick Stockton about a milestone we could witness today.
The Forum in Inglewood, California is the home of champions in the NBA. That's where the Los Angeles Lakers play, and that's where the Lakers and Pat Riley can set a milestone today. Because it was 24 years ago this weekend that Arnold Red Auerbach coached his last game as head coach of the Boston Celtics. He achieved 99 playoff wins. And Pat Riley, who took over as head coach of the Lakers in 1982 and has won 4 championship rings, can surpass the legendary Auerbach today. A victory over the Houston Rockets this afternoon will give Pat Riley his 100th playoff triumph.
It's humbling a little bit for me, but I know Red will someday, when the good Lord takes him, will roll over in his grave because it was a Laker coach that anybody else he would accept. But when the purple and gold, you know, but it's an honor.
You know, all records are made to be broken. All it takes is time and a little luck, I guess. But he'll break it. There's no doubt about that. Of course, I was fortunate enough to do it in 20 years. He'll probably do it in less because of the simple fact they play a lot more playoff games now than they did then.
Well, more than the record, Pat Riley wants another championship ring, and he'll take another step if the Lakers can beat the Rockets today, coming up later on CBS.
All right, thank you, Dick. Hubie, gentlemen, we'll look forward to their game later on. We get late word now about another Western Conference series, Phoenix and Utah. Suns guard Kevin Johnson, recovering from a bad bout of flu, participated in this afternoon's light shoot-around. He had returned to his hotel room for rest. He's there now, and Coach Cotton Fitzsimmons will determine whether or not to play him at game time tonight. Well, you all know about the farewell tours for Dr. J and Kareem. Now there's another more subdued one in progress as the NBA bids adieu to referee Earl Strom. We'll share some of Earl's pearls as At the Half rolls on from Gotham City after a commercial and a word from your local station. Bill and I will be back. In Game 2, and welcome back to the Prudential at the Half here in our New York studios. He is the unsung hero of the NBA, endorsing only fair play and good sportsmanship. And he is a model of consistency, remaining as neutral as the gray of his uniform. Earl Strom has been officiating in the league since 1958. He'll retire after the playoffs run their course, and as you will see, he will be missed.
All in all, I think he's the best referee to ever officiate the game.
I guess they respect the gray hair and, you know, the venerable person that I am.
My wife really has a crush on him, and I'm kind of glad he's out of here because she's really getting attached to him. That's about the only game she would come to is when you were refereeing her. I don't know why.
One time, I had trouble getting one in, so I went out with one, and then I lost the other one on the court, so I ended up doing the game without him. It didn't go bad.
I played 14 years. You ref so brilliantly. This is a special gift from me to you. Wear them in good health, buddy.
It's hell when you get old.
I think Earl, besides just being the greatest referee, he's a good man. And that's what I like most about him.
Who's going to do the talking? Jack? Any questions? All right, have a good one, guys. Watch your elbows on rebounds. Come on out, Patrick.
Big bump underneath. Ewing hits the floor. He's up and okay. He goes right at Clarkson.
All right. I saw everything. 24.
Your adrenaline does get pumping. It better get pumping if you're going to get between those guys and try to straighten it out.
Earl Strom getting a workout tonight.
The long and winding road. Say, guys.
I've had several players come up to me and say, give us a couple more years, don't leave before I retire and things like that. But I've been in the league long before some of these guys were born, and it's time. It's time for me to go. It's going to be a traumatic experience for me. It's going to be I dread to see that day come. I've dreaded it from the time I started because I have so much fun and I enjoy this job so much that I'm not truly looking forward to that last game when I walk out for good. It's going to be difficult.
Like basketball without Earl, will it?
Touching, too. But, he's a favorite of all the coaches who are losing late in the game because he'd take the whistle, put it in the pocket, and get you on the bus. Nice and early.
They're blowing the whistle on us here. Greg and Quinn are getting ready for the second half. Along with Bill, I'm Pat O'Brien. Thank you for joining us on the Prudential at the Half. We'll see you later. Meantime, enjoy the second half here on CBS.
The Prudential at the Half has been sponsored by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock. CBS Sports coverage of the 1990 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? U.S. Sprint and its new world of telecommunications. And by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in America, and with Alamo, all the miles are free.
Welcome back to Chicago, Illinois, everyone, as we prepare for the start of the third quarter. The Bulls trailing the Milwaukee Bucks by a score of 52-51, and another sellout crowd here in Chicago Stadium. Welcome back. And the story of this game certainly is the way the Milwaukee Bucks have turned things around. They trailed this game early on by as many as 17 points, yet they lead the Chicago Bulls by 152-51 off of a great second quarter spurt. Andrea Joyce talked with Coach Del Harris.
Coach, you turned it around in the first half. How will you prevent, though, that fourth quarter breakdown that you had in game one?
Well, we just have to see about that. Right now, we're trying to reestablish our game in the third quarter, Andrea. We just have to play the game as it rolls around to us, try to adjust and adapt like we did in the first half.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
The
the one-time Milwaukee Buck. Quinn Buckner joins me now. That may be the happiest we've seen Del Harris here in a couple of days.
Yeah, it is. We talked to him yesterday, and he had a pretty long face, but he said his club will come back and play the second game of a series like this fairly well, and I think they've been able to do that. They turned it around defensively, and I thought Paul Pressey was a big part of what they were trying to get done.
There are some significant 8% in the second quarter.
Well, a big part of that, again, is that they pushed the ball up. They got some transition basket. That was Paul Pressey. He took it to the basket, but he was able to dish it off to people. He's got 5 assists here at the half.
We talked about how well the Milwaukee Bucks usually do coming off the bench, and how if there is a weakness for this Chicago team, they don't get as much production off the bench as most other teams do.
Well, that's going to hurt the Bulls should they go further. Obviously, the Bucks need to get all the production they get. But you got to remember, a lot of the Bucks production comes from their leading scorer in Ricky Pierce. But it's great to see Paul Pressey come off the bench, take up some of the slack that still has not been picked up from the inside players as of yet. But Pressey was able to get easy baskets. That's what you need on the offensive end.
And on the front line, where the Bucks were so manhandled on Friday night, they appear to be holding their own, although they will continue to get most of their production out of their backcourt.
Well, the backcourt has been able to keep some of this by being able to go to the basket, kick out to their front court players. So that's where they've gotten some of their opportunities. But Pressey and Robertson have kicked some of the guys down low as well.
Outstanding performers in the first half. We talked about Pressey and his 14-point performance. Michael Jordan also has 14. And, of course, Scottie Pippen with the 13 points is pitched in, too.
And I can suggest to you, Michael will pick it up in this half because he knows that his team has got to get this thing going. You can't afford to lose one game in this 5-game series, and particularly when you're playing at home. So the pressure clearly on the Bulls. The man has always responded, Michael Jordan.
Quadruple double is not entirely out of the realm of possibility for Jordan today. We're underway in the second quarter, and Paul Pressey is in to start the second half for the Bucks. Alvin Robertson shot off the mark, and Pippen with the rebound. Horace Grant. No, Pressey with the rebound.
Pressey's in the lineup, so you got to wonder. Pressey played well, but how much is Jay Humphries hurt? But again, you got Cadillac Anderson in, so now you got some tough bodies, but you got good defensive team in as well.
Bulls with the takeaway. The Bulls start the same 5. Jordan. Greg Anderson is still on the floor looking for a call that, as you mentioned, Quinn, will not come in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can keep looking for that call. He won't get that one too many times.
Jordan has 16. Lead at 53-52. Pressey almost trapped back outside the low house. Shot clock is at 2. Anderson shot off the mark. Pippen with the rebound. And the low house faces up to Pippen, and Jordan will slow things down.
Yeah, that's all day. That's all day. There's no way in the world that Fred Robertson guards Scottie Pippen.
Immediately, Del Harris wants a 20-second timeout. 10:31 to play, and Scottie Pippen has again come out and reestablished his game as he did at the start of the day.
Well, Scottie's numbers have been up decidedly. In this regard, I think Scottie is playing with more confidence. It's Phil Jackson's demeanor to let you play and not to have any problems with making mistakes. Where I didn't think Scottie felt comfortable with that last year. But coming out here at the half, I knew 1 or 2 people were going to come through. I know Michael's going to play well. Scottie Pippen, all-star this year, he will start to get it going as well.
Scottie Pippen enjoying a fine afternoon so far. And the Bulls have scored the first 4 points of this period. Sigma got the back rim. Jordan is fouled by Sigma, who tried to grab his rebound. That's 3 on Sigma. There's a little of that demeanor you were talking about on Phil Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, he very rarely changes. The only time I've really noticed him to change, and it's rarely at the players, if he says something to an official, and that's the way you've got to be. You've got to fight for your players.
Sigma rejects Jordan down low. And Pressey leads the Bucks back 4 on 3. Robertson inside. 55-54 Bulls. Three-pointer.
with so much more confidence. To take that kind of shot when your team is going through a little bit of lull offensively takes a lot of confidence and a lot of nerves.
Scottie Pippen has 18. Going to go on Scottie Pippen.
No, I believe instead of foul, they call it illegal defense. Yeah, they would.
Chicago personal foul, 33, Scottie Pippen.
Did he call it? Because Scottie didn't really foul him. But that's his fourth foul. That's why I didn't think that Fisher was going to make that kind of call. I thought he was going to call him for illegal defense. But now Phil Jackson, he'll get off that bench a little bit now.
Pressey, turnaround on Paxson. Can't say enough about Paul Pressey's game this afternoon. He has 16.
And John Paxson cannot guard him down there, so the Bucks have proved themselves well by getting Pressey down on the block.
Cartwright, top of the key. Jordan. Bulls by 4. Jordan with 18. He and Pippen leading the way. 36 of the Bulls' 60 points between them. I'd say Paul Pressey is.
He showed up this afternoon.
He's guaranteeing himself some playing time in Game 3 in Milwaukee. Paxson with Sigma guarding him. Tap up and in. Grant will get credit. I'm not sure that it wasn't Lohaus who tipped it in.
They tipped it, and they were tipping it in the opposite direction, and the ball just died over the rim, dropped right through.
How many hours a day do you spend practicing then?
You better not spend a whole lot, because there's not many chances you'll get that to happen positively for you.
8 minutes to play, third quarter. Bulls, 62-58 lead. Anderson had it batted away. Alvin Robertson back up. Off the glass, no. Anderson again. Good inside play by Greg Cadillac Anderson.
Yeah, but all of the Bucks are more aggressive. That time I thought the Bulls came after them. The Bucks are showing they're going to be resilient and stay tough on the inside.
Ricky Pierce getting set to check in for Milwaukee. Cartwright on Anderson.
He's still looking for that call.
Cartwright has 8. Bulls lead back to 4 with 7:20 to play. Third quarter. One almost out of bounds. Shot clock is at 6. Sigma will take it and is fouled by Cartwright.
Boy, that is just not a good foul. You got Jack Sigma out there shooting that shot. And Bill Cartwright knows that. He knows it makes no sense to go out there and foul somebody shooting a jump shot from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, earlier a foul.
That's number 3 on Cartwright.
Illegal defense, Chicago.
They changed that, Greg. The foul that was called against Scottie Pippen, they just changed. That was an illegal defense, which means that Scottie Pippen now only has 3 fouls.
What you're telling me is that you were originally correct.
Well, you might say that.
Jack Sigma shot 89% from the free throw line during the regular season. You won't see him miss many of those. And Jack Sigma is yet to corral a rebound this afternoon.
Well, the Bucks haven't got far enough away from the basket. He'll have a tough time getting it. And as I said, if it's just running and jumping, the Bulls will get most of those.
Jordan off the mark. Pressey with the ball. Robertson, change of place down the middle, and he is hammered. Anderson is hammered by Jordan. That's number 2 on Jordan. And with 6:48 to play here in the third quarter, we'll take a timeout. The Bulls lead is 3. We're coming right back.
He is 10-year-old Robert Jones, Chicago's south side. That injury left him blind. Well, now Robert is about the biggest Michael Jordan fan there is, and yesterday he had a chance to meet his idol. And his father told me that that was the first time he has seen Robert smile since the accident. And Robert is here today to cheer. Wish him our best as well. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Andrea. We do indeed. In fact, Robert, of course, is still quite traumatized by all of the events. He begins school for the blind tomorrow, and we join in wishing him our very best.
Yeah, we really do. And Sonny Parker and Earl King, two former NBA players, were the guys that got Michael Jordan to come. And I'm sure Michael would have done it anyway. But these guys have worked very hard to try to help this young man through what we all know is a very trying time.
Craig Anderson's 2 free throws have pulled the Bucks to within 1 at 64-63 with 6:45 to play here in the third quarter. Milwaukee's bench has now contributed 38 points to 5 for the Bulls bench.
Well, if you look at the Bucks lineup now, they may have one of their best athletic team on the court, which is how Del Harris wanted to match up.
Chicago turns it over. Here comes Pressey with Jordan on him. And the Bucks with a chance to take the lead. Pressey's cross-court pass stolen by Pippen. And Pippen late coming back down court. In the middle, Anderson off the glass. And the Bucks grab 2 more points at 66-65.
See, this is a different team in terms of a lineup and a mental makeup than we saw on Friday. This team for the Bucks is just much more aggressive on both ends of the court.
The team the Bucks have out there, only 2 starters, and Cartwright is fouled before he made his spin to the bucket. Let's take a look at Scottie Pippen in action.
Well, the one thing you need to do, you got to keep Scottie Pippen almost on the side of the ball, because when he's away, he can get steals like that because he's always cheating, looking for that opportunity. He and Michael Jordan had a little bit of a game, if you will, trying to see who would lead the league in steals. Michael Jordan #1, Scottie Pippen right in the hunt.
Pippen trying to post Alvin Robertson up down low. Got him where he wants him and then lost the ball. To play, third quarter. Lowhouse, 3-pointer. Bingo.
That's Brand's forte right there, shooting the jump shot, so he's capable of shooting a 3-pointer.
Lowhouse was acquired from Minnesota for Randy Brewer on January 4th and has played very well. Here's Jordan. With 2 on him.
And he got it real quick because Brad was coming from the backside to try to block that one.
Jordan has 20, and we're tied at 68 with 5 minutes to play in the third. Chicago.
Remember when I talked about the Bulls when they're at their best, they start getting their hands on balls. That time, that was Scottie Pippen hit the ball first, and then it went off Paul Pressey's hand.
That's the 11th Bucks turnover of the day. The Bulls have turned it over 10 times. Jordan into the lanes, tied up by Pressey, and he got it back. Pippen, that's a 2-pointer, and he nails it. 70-68, 22 for Scottie Pippen.
Greg, interestingly enough, this pace is one that I don't think the Bulls really want to be in, because the Bucks are as good an executing team as they're in all basketball.
Alvin Robertson, 3-pointer on the way, no good. Cartwright, and Grant takes it away from Cartwright. And Paxson, the lob for Pippen, too much.
You know what happened there? We happen to have the angle. When a guy calls for the lob, as Scottie Pippen tried to get John Paxson to do, Paxson saw him late and tried to make up for it by throwing the ball higher because there was defense coming back in the area.
Well, I thought the ball was thrown ridiculously high. It wasn't that far overthrown. Scottie Pippen went right up the ladder. Good ball movement by the Bucks. This is Pressey, front rim, no. Pippen has the ball. And taken away by Robertson. Here, down the lane. Sorry, Pressey.
That is awful defense, and that's something that Phil Jackson's not going to be real pleased about. You can't let people drive to the paint and not make them pay for it.
Paul Pressey has 20 points this afternoon. And we are tied at 70 and under 3.5 to play for the quarter. Cartwright. Got it. Alvin Robertson goes down on the baseline. Chicago by 2. Did I call that one a little prematurely?
Just a bit.
Pressey hounded by Paxson. Shot clock to 5. Taken away. And the foul is on Robertson.
There's another one. Hand on the ball.
We have a timeout on the court with 2:56 to play in the third quarter. Tight one. The Bulls lead it by 2. The Celtics yesterday in their victory over the Knicks, setting an NBA playoff record with 157 points, while the Pistons were chalking up their 9th straight victory in the playoff and going 2 up on Indiana. So it's Detroit 2-0 and Boston 2-0. Philadelphia and Chicago at 1 each, and Chicago, of course, looking to make it 2-0 today. Cleveland and Philadelphia meet at the Spectrum tonight. And as we mentioned early on this afternoon, teams that win the first game in this best-of-5 series are doing a great job.
Well, they do that for a lot of reasons. One, primarily, is they're playing at home. And you're more comfortable at home. You're used to the cooking routine. I mean, and that makes a big difference when you're sleeping in your own bed, you know, and you're more familiar with your surroundings.
What's he doing here?
I don't know. Maybe he's looking for some match down the road here.
An advanced scout. 72-70, Chicago. 2:45 to play, third quarter. Jordan, baseline drive, spun it up and didn't get it to fall.
Milwaukee, personal foul, 44, Brad Lohaus. His fourth.
This was almost one for the highlight reel tonight.
Because I just didn't think he could get to the baseline in time, but not only did he do that, I mean, he got all the help he wanted and got it to the other side. Boy, it reminds me of myself in my dreams.
Stacey King into the game, replacing Bill Cartwright.
Now this is the Bulls' most athletic lineup here, with Stacey King in that center spot. He's very active up and down the court. That is his strength, is his activeness.
Jordan hits them both to expand Chicago's lead to 4. And as the Bulls will do, they go to a little full court pressure after the free throw. Humphries, Pressey, Ricky Pierce, Greg Anderson, and Brad Lohaus in the lineup for the Bucks. Pressey's pass batted around and out to Lohaus with the three-point bomb. In and out, and Jordan has it. Good defense by the Bulls that trip down court. Jordan to Grant, back to Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Michael's giving credit where it was due. Harden trying to be a little bit Michael Jordan there, taking it to the basket and dishing it to Michael.
24 points for Jordan. Bulls by 6. Pressey yelling to a teammate to move and has to toss it up as the shot clock expires. And Paul Pressey is clearly disgusted.
Well, he's disgusted because one of the things, he didn't think there was a lot of movement, but clearly one of the guys that's in the game and hadn't touched the ball is Ricky Pierce. I mean, your leading scorers in the game, you got to find a way to get the basketball in position to score.
Here's Jordan. Oh, quick pass inside Grant. Around and out. And Anderson has the rebound. This is Humphries. And here's Pierce. Oh. Loose ball brought back by Pressey. And with 1 minute to play, 76-72. Chicago. Pressey with 22. King. Looking inside. Tapped up and in by Horace Grant.
Well, that's because Stacey had such good inside position that both of the defenders on the inside had to come over to help out on Stacey and allowed Horace to get loose for that shot.
Grant has 15. It's a 6-point Chicago lead. The pass taken away by Pippen with Jordan trailing, and there's a foul. That basket doesn't count.
Yeah, but it looked good.
I think there have been a combination of things that have happened in the last few minutes when the Chicago Bulls have definitely stepped up the defensive pressure, and the Bucks are no longer clicking that offensive court.
But the two are congruent, because when that defensive pressure steps up, then it takes away the other team's offense, and that's what Phil Jackson said to his club at halftime. He wanted them to step up their defensive efforts, and Scottie Pippen is one of the main people to do that. He's so quick to the basketball, and as I said, athletic defense, just trying to get to it with quickness. There's more team speed on the Bulls.
Congruent.
You liked that, didn't you?
16 seconds, 15 now for the quarter. And Lohaus is grabbed on the far side by Jordan.
Chicago personal foul, 23, Michael Jordan. His third, team's first.
On Jordan. Into the game comes Charles Davis, number 22 for Chicago. And Jordan will get a rest.
That's a good substitution, because that foul told Phil Jackson that Michael Jordan's got to be a little bit tired, because you said it was clearly a hack, so Michael couldn't move his feet, so he just fouled.
10 seconds for the quarter. Pierce with 4 on the clock, trying to drive, and the basket will count. The basket will count, and Pierce will go to the line.
Well, it's a mismatch that favors the Bucks, because Ricky Pierce is quicker than Horace Grant, and the official felt that Horace didn't have good position as Ricky went into his shot. And now we're looking at a potential three-point play. Ricky Pierce has had to get into the offense for the Bucks to have any continued success.
4-point lead for the Bulls with just over 3 seconds to play. The steal, and taken back by Paxson, and that'll do it for the quarter. Of the third period with the score, the Bulls 79, the Bucks 75. We'll return to Chicago after this message and a word from your local station. Chicago Stadium, everyone, for the start of the fourth quarter. The Bulls lead it by a score of 79-75 in a game that has been nip and tuck since about halfway through the second quarter. And part of the 134th straight sellout crowd here in Chicago Stadium for Bulls games. Attendance today, 18,676. The Bulls established a new attendance record here this season, and that's part of the reason why. Second only to the Lakers in performance at home inside with the Utah Jazz.
Well, the other thing that I would suggest to you, inclusive of that record, when you think about the sellouts, I would imagine it's somewhat proportional to the arrival of Michael Jordan. Here's here's an interesting statistic, I think. Right now, Milwaukee's taken 57 shots. They made 30 of them. They only took 66 shots in the entire game on Friday, so they clearly are starting getting more into the flow of what they want to do offensively.
Jordan just, and Jordan goes down hard, and he looks hurt.
Oh.
Mark Feil, the Chicago trainer, immediately to his side. Several Milwaukee players converged on Michael Jordan as he drove.
Well, he takes it to the basket, and they get on top of the ball. That's what happens. And then right there, Cadillac Anderson has him, and he tried to grab him, but he couldn't hold on to him.
Another look at it, and it looks like his right arm and shoulder take the brunt as he hits the deck in the paint.
Boy, it really does, and it looks like, as you said, that his shoulder did it. I think Anderson meant to give a hard foul, but he took his feet out from under Michael at the same time.
We'll keep tabs on what happens, take a break, and come right back in just a moment.
During the break, he did get up and he walked off the court by himself. They weren't saying much, but he did give a nod to the trainer that he was okay. They were rubbing his right leg, and that was the side that he fell on. We'll get over there and check it out a little bit further in just a minute. Back to you guys.
All right, Andrea, and as we take another look, I think it's worth noting, Quinn, this is about as physical as the Milwaukee Bucks have gotten. They were not at all this physical in Game 1.
Well, they had to come in and be more aggressive. I mean, you don't let people go into the paint and make shots without a good foul. I do believe that was just a good hard foul. There was no malicious intent involved, and on Cadillac Anderson's part. So I agree with you. They are playing more aggressively. But the fans are going to let them know what they think about it. I guarantee you, Michael Jordan is going to let them know what he thinks about it with some explosion here too.
Well, Michael Jordan is coming back onto the court. Four-point lead. Jordan will shoot 2.
It looks like he went down and looking at his face, looks like he's trying to shake a little bit of the cobwebs out. I think he's got it.
25 points and a 5-point Bulls lead.
And they put Ed Neely in the game. Try to make sure that there's some good plays on both ends of the court.
Pressey with Pippen on him, and now gives it up to Humphries. Down low, Anderson. Whistle blows. Foul is on Stacey King.
Well, that means that's another one Ed gets to use later. He was in the action.
That one is off the mark. Greg Anderson only shot 54% from the free throw line during the regular season, and it shows.
That's more like my free throw shooting percentage.
Here's Michael Jordan. Gets the pick from King, top of the key. Off to Pippen. And Anderson with the rebound. 11 minutes to play in the game. Bulls lead the series 1-0. Baseline shot by Jay Humphries is good. First 2 points of the game for Humphries.
He really didn't beat John Paxson that time. He just jumped over him, but he has preserved himself, and Paul Pressey's played well, so he really had to do a lot of good scoring.
King down low. Anderson trying to foul him, can't do it. First 2 points of the day for King.
82-77. 10:20 to play in the game.
Well, I'll tell you, Ricky Pierce has got a beautiful stroke. If you get out there too late, he will knock it down. That time Michael Jordan got caught high side of the pick and couldn't get out in time.
Bucks knock the Chicago lead down to 3. And Jordan to the base.
Michael Jordan was apparently just had the wind knocked out of him on that play when we saw him go down. He was jarred and he was stunned. We saw him rubbing his leg. He had a Charlie horse where he might have been kicked, but he got back up and he was back in the game and hit that foul shot. So everything seems to be fine.
All right, Andrea, thank you. Scottie Pippen missed the first and missed the second.
But I tell you what, when you get hit like that, you will think about going in there the next time and knowing that you have to do something more to protect yourself. And I thought that's what happened to Michael that time down the court.
This is Pressey. Pressey slips, still gets the ball to Lowhouse, who gets it off and hits the two-pointer. We have been free of the case of the slips that we saw on Friday night, but the last 2 trips down court, one on each side, players have slipped, and perhaps the floor getting a little damp from the hockey rink underneath. Healy on the baseline. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Alvin Robertson into the game. Jay Humphries is out as you get another look.
Neely goes to the basket. You see right there that Brad Lowhouse, he's got a foul or 2 he wants to put into use. I talked to Jerry Krause about Ed Neely because as we talked to Jerry Krause, the general manager for the Chicago Bulls, as we talked to Del Harris, he said Neely made a big difference. And I just asked Jerry, why did you go to all the expenses, to get Ed Neely? He said he thought that Ed Neely was a very sound player. He's been a very positive influence on Horace Grant and Stacey King. He thinks sometime that this young man may be an NBA coach. He thinks he's got that kind of intelligence and understanding of the game, and he wants to be a coach.
Well, he's been around the league. He has played with Kansas City, San Antonio, Chicago, Phoenix, and then Chicago again.
Well, he'll know all the nice places to stay, that's for sure.
We can check with Ed about the restaurants, can't we? 83-81, Bulls by 2. Out of bounds, off of Neely. Still with time. Robertson gets a pick and a whistle blows, and this is going to go against the Bulls.
Scottie
Chicago personal foul. 33. Scottie Pippen is 4th. The team 2nd.
That's 4 on Pippen.
He's working over there on Paul Pressey, and they both have long arms, good quickness. But Paul is very savvy on the offensive end. He'll find a little trick holding.
Sigma back into the game, throws it out of bounds. With the lead, coming up on 8:45 to play for the game. Pippen. Good move, didn't get the shot to fall. Pippen has the loose ball.
I mean, he ran right at Brad Lowhouse and just threw it down.
25 for Scottie Pippen. Chicago by 4. Sigma had it batted away. Here comes Pippen on Pressey, and he's fouled. And Scottie Pippen doing a little taking charge as we continue here in the 4th quarter from Chicago Stadium. 8 minutes, 12 seconds to play for the game. Chicago leads it 85-81. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner and Andrea Joyce, and Scottie Pippen at the line to shoot 2.
Well, the Bulls are getting their hands on loose balls again, and Scottie Pippen has played well. But I tell you, you've got to give the Bucks credit. They couldn't get the scoring from the interior. Paul Pressey came off the bench, ignited the team, and they played well since then.
Scottie Pippen out of Central Arkansas. Hits them both. 6-point lead for the Bulls. And Pippen exerting the pressure on Pressey. Pierce trying to drive on Jordan and gets the bucket and the offensive foul.
It was a good call because Michael got in there and started reaching, and it clearly Ricky Pierce pushed off with his left arm.
Pierce still shaking his head as he goes back on defense. And Jordan to the baseline. Bumped by Sigma. And Del Harris thinks they're getting a little too picky now. Sigma yet to corral a rebound today. Had 5 of them in game 1. Boy, he has performed very well for a long time around the NBA.
He really has, and what it makes you wonder is either 2 things you need to do to get a rebound, and primarily the first one is to block out. Well, if you can't get to guys like Grant and Pippen to block them out, it's pretty hard to get the ball, and that's what's happened to Jack the majority of the time.
7-point lead for the Bulls. Lowhouse, 3-pointer on the way. Got it.
3-point field goal, Brad Lowhouse.
88-84. 12 for Lowhouse. Pippen gonna put it up. Neely had it go off of his hands and out of bounds to Milwaukee.
Boy, he was in between 2 people, just hammering him to get to the ball.
Lowhouse lost it.
6'11" down in the paint. You can't put it on the ground. You bring it to the loose people. That's why he lost that.
Jordan, oh, nice pass with good hands by the Bucks, batted it away. Pressey leaves it for Pierce. 3-point attempt.
3-point field goal, Ricky Pierce.
Bulls 88. The Bucks 87. 16 for Ricky Pierce. Jordan down low, and Sigma is guilty of the foul on Cartwright.
They called 3 seconds on the Cartwright. He was 3 down in there.
Chicago.
6:28 to play. 4th quarter. Bulls by 1. Don't go away. All right, Tim, welcome back to Chicago Stadium, everyone. The Bulls by 1. Milwaukee has been perfect on the floor in this quarter, hitting 5 out of 5, while the Bulls are hitting just a third of it. You take a look at this game, and you can understand why it's a seesaw battle. The amazing thing on that visual right there, Quinn, is that Milwaukee's bench has contributed 52 to the 87 points. That means the starters scored 35.
Yeah, and what makes it amazing as much as anything is this is the group that got the points from, and Paul Pressey most notably, who hadn't played much prior to game 1 here because he was injured. He came in and just gave him a big start in the first half. He had 14 points. He had 5 assists. He's continued to handle the ball, and with Jay Humphries being out and basically not able to play because of his injury, that is obviously significant for the Bucks.
This has been an injury-riddled Milwaukee team all season long. They led the league in number of man games missed with 235. Shot off the mark, loose ball picked off by the Bucks. Pierce throws it back into the corner and gets it back. Makes the 3, takes the 2. Jordan with the rebound. The NBA average for man games missed per team is just over 100. The Bucks more than doubled that this season.
And it's been interesting. They've had 195. They've averaged like 215 for the last 4 years. They've really struggled with injuries, and they can't put their fingers on what it is.
Got it open. No. Sigma and Neely battling, and Robertson saves it. Up ahead to Lowhouse. To Pierce. Change direction. Score.
Ricky Pierce.
The Bucks 89. The Bulls 88.
Well, they both been battling, but the Bucks, I think, have played extremely hard inside. They've done a good job as Ricky Pierce makes a steal there.
Pierce on the run. Gives it back to
who knew that Ricky Pierce was going to have an easy basket, and Ricky tried to get the ball. He never got control of it again, and that time caused this play to happen. It was just before that, and Ricky Pierce could control the ball. And here, Scottie just does a good job defensively.
Tie game.
So you're talking about a 4-point potentially here, because that's an easy 2-point basket that gets away from the Bucks, and the Bulls get a chance to get it back versus the free throw by Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen has just hit a season high 29 points. On Friday night, he hit a career high 13 assists. Sigma going to put it up. Lowhouse back on the drive. Offensive foul Pierce, and that's 5 on Ricky Pierce.
And Ed Neely takes the charge. That's the thing. Check that middle. You see Ricky coming at the back, and Ed Neely steps right up. And the one thing he's going to do is take that position, and he was there.
5 personal fouls on Ricky Pierce. And Ed Neely takes a seat on the bench to a huge ovation.
A well-deserved ovation. He does the dirty work. Every team needs to have a player like that in order to be successful. You've got to have somebody who can bang, go on the floor for the ball, get the tough rebounds. Ed Neely is the player that does that for Chicago.
Jordan out the front right. 3-point Chicago lead, and the Bucks want timeout. 4:35 to play. It is billed as the noisiest arena in the NBA. No quarrel here. 92-89. The Bulls lead the Bucks with 4:35 to play. Milwaukee with 3 timeouts left, and the Bulls with 2. But there are some foul problems in the making for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Clearly, you got the leading scorer, Pierce, and Brad Lowhouse with 5. That's a problem. With only 4, Scottie Pippen has still got himself at least a foul to go with.
Milwaukee basketball. Pressey, Robertson, Lowhouse, Pierce, and Greg Anderson for the Bucks. Lowhouse open out of the corner. And Jordan sky high for the rebound.
Excuse me. I mean, Bill Carter thought he had it, and I mean, he clearly took it out of his hand.
Jordan open. For Michael Jordan. Bulls by 5 with 4 minutes to play. Foul as he got the shot off.
Chicago.
And that looks like it's on Jordan.
Jordan is for the team's third.
That's 4 on Jordan. And Pressey will shoot 2.
Paul Pressey shoots 2.
Bill Jackson knows all about this playoff action. He was a member of the New York Knicks championship team back in 1973.
Yeah, under that championship team, he played for as good a mind that's ever been in professional basketball in Red Holtzman, and I'm sure he's bringing a lot of that. And he said that a lot of things he brings to the Bulls, he picked up from Red while he was playing for the Knicks.
Pressey hits 1 out of 2, and Chicago's lead is 4.
measure, and 10 obviously is to go that way. Michael is moving away, so in order for you to make contact, you've got to move with him. That's why Michael Jordan got that's part of the reason he got the benefit of the doubt. Others, Michael Jordan.
Ed Neely back into the lineup for the Bulls. And Jordan looks to make it a 7-point Chicago lead. He is 10 of 12 from the line today. And 31 points. The Bulls have Cartwright, Jordan, Horace Grant, Ed Neely, and Scottie Pippen. And there's a foul call up top. Looks like it might be on Scottie Pippen.
It was, and Scottie had gotten away with the foul and didn't know it. It's one of those fouls where when you hit the guy, put your hand up to say, I didn't hit him. Well, if he hadn't put his hand up to back away from him, Mike Mathis would not have been able to make that call as clearly as Scottie gave the indication that he fouled. That's an old trick I used to use. And I didn't take fouls home either.
Pressey on the drive. Nice move inside. Doesn't get the roll, but he did draw the foul. And that's the Ed Neely committing his second. And Pressey will shoot two. Chicago.
Well, Paxson is going to take some of the ball handling pressure off of Michael, and I'm sure what the Bulls want to do is just free Michael up so he can catch and just create.
Pressey hit them both. He has 25, 97-92, 3:15 to play for the game. Grant double teamed, and Paxson gets it to Jordan. And Pippen will take it back again. Jordan will put up two. Sigma would rather make it Lowehouse with the rebound. Pressey tried to lob for Sigma, and it was batted back by Jordan.
Well, this is a mismatch. If the Bulls don't get out there, they got problems. Ricky Pierce.
Pressey coming across the lane, outside Lowehouse for three. Hit it.
3-point field goal.
We talked about it, yesterday. You and I were just visiting. One of the things I said, if the Bulls allow the Bucks to get into a tempo where they get the clock down under 7 on the 24-second clock, they have executed. They get their kind of shots, and they can make them.
97-95, 2:20 to play. Paxson drives the baseline, puts up the left-handed shot. Beautiful shot by John Paxson. He has 4. The Bulls lead it by 9. At the 2-minute mark, Pierce to the baseline. Didn't get it. Ball. Cartwright with the rebound. And Scottie Pippen will take his time.
Well, he's going what they call a zipper play, and Michael will come out to the top to try to get the ball if they let him.
Offensive foul, and that is on Michael Jordan.
And what Michael was complaining about, as he tried to come off the pick, he thought he got grabbed, and in his effort to get away from the grab, he pushed it, and the official called Michael pushing away.
Ed Neely back into the lineup. John Paxson takes a seat. Brother Jim took part in that blowout yesterday in the Boston Garden for the Celtics. A minute and a half for the game. Bulls by 4. Bucks trying to even things up before the series heads back to Milwaukee. And there's the whistle outside. Ed Neely, the guilty party, holding on to Ricky Pierce.
See, we got the game, and Phil Jackson is trying to tell him that, you got to give that on both ends. But we got the game at a tempo that the Bucks want. And if Chicago doesn't get an increased tempo game, they've got problems because Ricky Pierce gets open because Dale Harris makes those guys get him open. And when Ricky gets it, he's right in basketball.
For Pierce. 22 to play. Meanwhile, we'll remind you, coming up tonight here on CBS, 60 Minutes. Then it'll be Murder, She Wrote and CBS Sunday Movie, the Hallmark Hall of Fame. Caroline. Not surprisingly, there's a lot of noise at Chicago Stadium this afternoon. Welcome back, everyone. A minute 22 to play in the game. The Chicago Bulls lead Milwaukee by a score of 99 to 97. The Bulls jumped off to an early lead, 17 points in the first quarter, but Bucks have fought back, made a game of it, and they've stuck fairly closely throughout the game.
Bucks coaching staff has done a good job. Matt Calvin is one of the outstanding players in the NBA some time ago. Soon to probably be an NBA coach. I'm sure in that timeout they've got to tell their players, look, we've got ourselves in a position to win the game. Anytime you're in the contest under 2 minutes, you're in position. What they can't afford to do is to get down here and let the Bucks get a basket and foul, and that's the most important thing.
Heard your former coach, Don Nelson, say on television last night that he liked the Milwaukee game plan. The only difference in game one was that the Bucks just didn't stick to it down the stretch.
Well, they couldn't stick to it because the Bulls were able to implement theirs by virtue of getting their hands on some loose ball, getting the tempo up. This afternoon, the Bucks, as a rule, have controlled the tempo. That's why they're in the game.
1:05 to play in the game. Jordan, baseline. Oh, we got the bucket.
And that's just what I talked about. He still takes the ball to the basket strong, but you don't want to let him get the ball to the basket. So I'm sure one of the things Dale's trying to tell his club, if he gets there, foul him. And don't let him get the ball up to the basket. Now you're looking at the three-point play, and you get the fans involved in the game.
34, Jordan, 5-point Chicago lead with 1:02 to play. Now Harris has the timeout, and it's exactly what he's telling Brad Lohaus. 62 seconds to go. We'll be right back. Will put the ball in play at half court. Paul Pressey inbounding with 62 seconds to go.
Well, this is a mismatch that the Bucks are in trouble with.
Pierce, three-pointer, nailed it.
That's what I meant. The Bucks are in trouble. Ed Neely cannot guard Ricky Pierce, and that's exactly what they need to do to him.
Under a minute, 2-point Chicago lead. Robertson on Jordan.
As much as you can, you obviously keep the ball in Michael's hand and let him try to take it to the basket.
To the baseline. Oh. Timeout, Milwaukee. As Jordan, with points number 35 and 36, makes it a 4-point Chicago lead. Just under 37 seconds to go. Gumble along with Quinn Buckner and Andrea Joyce. Bulls by 4 with 36.9 to play. And coming up right after this one, we'll take you to the Forum in Los Angeles. They're still about 15 minutes away from the opening tap there. It'll be the Lakers and the Rockets in Game 2 of that Western Conference opening round series. But with 36.9 seconds to play here, Quinn, and with the ball, do you go for a 3 or a 2 if you're the Milwaukee Bucks?
No, I think you can get the ball on the other end by virtue of you got the timeout. You can move it up to half court. You try to get a quick shot because you get 2 shot opportunities. If you get a shot up here in the next 6 seconds or so, 6 to 7 seconds. So I would imagine that's what Dale told him. If not, take the ball to the basket, try to draw a foul. If you don't think you can do it, kick out for a shooter. The Bulls got to just not foul. That's the one thing they cannot afford to do is just don't foul anybody.
Milwaukee with a timeout remaining. Chicago with the 1 full timeout and the 20 and the steal at half court. Horace Grant with the steal. Jordan to Neely and back out front to Pippen. And the Bulls will look to ice this one. Big play by Horace Grant.
And Dale Harris knows that that's an opportunity you just can't get. And then when you get Horace Grant to make the steal, athletic play. I mean, not many people can make that play at 6'10".
Del Harris calls Grant one of the most underrated players in the league.
Well, I think he is. He can shoot the ball. He's very active. The one thing I'm sure that the Bulls would like to see him is a little more aggressive inside, but he's quick enough that he uses his quickness instead of any overall strength to try to take advantage of his skill.
Cartwright right back to him. The Bulls are putting this one on ice.
Yeah, they really did, because Michael had a chance to hit Scottie Pippen under the basket and didn't do it. But they didn't need to shoot the ball.
Cartwright will go to the line again.
Dale was right when he said that his team would play a better second game than they did in the first game. They implemented the plan a great deal more, so had the tempo, but I think the Bulls credit, they were able to play the Bucks tempo, and at this point are 15 seconds away from victory.
We talked about the number of injuries they've had. The Bucks have used 17 different starting lineups this season. How do you establish any continuity doing that?
And I really think that's what's been most amazing about the Bucks. Not only that, they were able to pull off 44 wins with that, and the credit to all of the Bucks.
15 and 6/10 seconds to play in the game. The Bulls 106 and the Bucks 100. Far away from taking Game 2 of this opening round series against the Milwaukee Bucks. Welcome back to Chicago Stadium, everyone. The Bucks contemplating just what possibly can be done in 15 and 6/10 seconds. Our Miller Lite player of the game is Michael Jordan. 36 points, 11 assists, 6 steals, 9 rebounds. And on his behalf, Miller Lite will donate $1,000 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
I had to override you to make sure that Michael was going to be the MVP, didn't I? Yes. The Bucks at a point now, they've got to go for three-point shots. And you see Ricky Pierce is the leading three-point shooter, and the other two are both their 4- and 5-man power forward and center Jack Sikma and Brad Lohaus. So what you would have to get out of this is to get the ball up the court. They'll move it up because of the timeout. But you penetrate and you kick back to those guys so they can shoot uncontested shots.
Bulls 106 and the Bucks 100.
If I'm out, I'm going to do everything I can to get the ball in Ricky Pierce's hands.
Pierce, Alfred, Jack Sikma, and Brad Lohaus. Lohaus has hit 3 out of 4 from three-point land today. Robertson drives to the baseline and out of bounds to the Bulls. Bill Cartwright blocked his way, and Robertson can't believe it. Pressey commits the foul. As they walk to the other end, we'll take this one to remind you, coordinating producer of the NBA on CBS is Michael Burks. Today's game was ably produced by Dan Forer and equally well directed by Mike Arnold. The basketball show and Prudential at the half, produced by by Eric Mann and directed by Bob Matina. The senior producer of CBS Sports is David Winter, and the executive producer of CBS Sports is Ted Shaker. Coming up, Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown standing by at the Forum in Inglewood, California, as the Lakers host the Houston Rockets.
You know, a moment ago, I looked up and saw Mark File, the trainer for the Chicago Bulls, looking at Michael. I watched Michael after he came down, and you could see that he still was in what appeared to be like a gray area.
Lob for Robertson falls with just over 3 seconds to go. Grant for Pippen.
He's got to come back. That's 4/10 of a second. Where's he going?
Scottie Pippen puts the cap on a 32-point day. The Chicago Bulls win it, and now, Quinn, these two teams move back to Milwaukee.
I think Milwaukee proved that they could be at least in the contest. They came out, were much more aggressive, and I look for them to play a much stronger game back in Milwaukee.
Well, for Quinn Buckner and Andrea Joyce, I'm Greg Gumbel. So long from Chicago Stadium, our final score.